Tonight, investigators are hours now into the hunt for the cause of a fire at this resort in Gatlinburg. The Westgate Resort caught fire overnight. First responders arrived to find an empty unit under construction engulfed in flames. No one was hurt, but authorities did evacuate people staying nearby. Westgate sits just north of downtown Gatlinburg. Much of that community burned to the ground during the deadly wildfires in 2016. 10 News reporter Michael Crow joins us once again from the scene with more from witnesses to that fire last night. Michael?
Well, John, investigators still have not released the cause of this fire, which began on that next ridgeline right back there, though we do know one thing right now. After 2016, you cannot be too careful with fire in these mountains.
Flames are an all too familiar sight at Westgate Resort.
We had our window open and we started smelling smoke.
Which is why Daniel Ormsby moved so quickly.
It was a matter of minutes when it started out small. I went and grabbed a water hose. Some embers were falling from the ground or onto the ground, so I started spraying it just to keep the side of the mountain from getting engulfed.
He's a firefighter from Florida, vacationing here with his family. But his work followed him.
It was scary for the younger kids that were out and seeing the embers come down, hitting the cars, and the flames being close to the building that we were at.
The burned building was still under construction after it was destroyed in the 2016 wildfires. Westgate was devastated in that storm.
I'd say your flames were shooting up a good 20, 30 feet above the building.
Mike Caudle was in the building next door. They were told to evacuate and spent the night at the Wild Bear Inn, another Westgate property.
We saw embers every place, and actually if we drove down the hill, some of the underbrush was even on fire. Very little, but some of it was. Yeah, it was fairly scary.
Coming out of the side of the room, and then it actually vented through the roof.
Ormsby says he's glad there wasn't much wind, or this could have been much worse. He says they went door to door telling other families to evacuate. He says a Westgate employee told him not to pull the fire alarm.
Maybe that's their policy, but I mean, being a firefighter, we'd probably pull it just to speed up the process, but that's just my judgment.
But either way, everyone made it out safely. A relatively happy ending in a county that knows just how destructive a fire in the mountains can be.
And a few minutes ago, Westgate sent me a statement about that fire alarm issue. They say this is not a Westgate policy, as the fire alarms are set up in all buildings for those specific buildings to help identify where a fire may be. They also say that as of 5 o'clock this evening, guests have the option to come back to their condo or stay where they were put up last night. John.
Michael Crow with the very latest from the mountains. Thank you, Michael.